Welcome to Underneath the Hat podcast. I am your host, author, entrepreneur, educator, Cherise Simmons, and welcome to episode 3 of season 4 of Underneath the Hat podcast. Our theme this season is Speak Over Yourself. It has been an interesting couple of days. I will say that, but before I dive in, let's handle all of the housekeeping first. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube with Underneath the Hat podcast. Check us out on all of the podcast platforms: Anchor, Overcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Breaker, and Pocket Cast. And make sure you share. You can post questions and comments. You can sew into the session through Cash App at $YLAAT 2017 or Zelle underneath the hats at gmail.com. All right. So speak over yourself. So this is season 3. It should be 4, but for the first time in 4 seasons, I was tired. Okay. I'm even being transparent on this show, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired. I'm tired now. I was tired last week. It's been a lot going on. So I missed last week's episode, and I had to force myself to come in here today after work to do this week's. I will try my best not to let it happen again, but stuff happens. And I think that's a pretty good record. In 4 seasons, this is the first time that I have not put out an episode or had to miss a week. So charge it to my head and not my heart. But there's been a lot going on. Even with trying to figure out what the topic would be, what the word would be to speak over yourself this week. I've gone from vulnerability to self-care. Those two keep rattling in my head, but today I'm going to go with self-care. Those of you that follow me know that I have a mentoring program called Young Ladies at All Times. And we've been going strong since February 2017. We'll be celebrating our 6th year next year. And I've helped over 100 girls across Chicago and now across Indiana too. We're expanding. And every couple of months I do a cohort. So we do a fall cohort and we do a spring cohort. And so for our fall cohort this year, 2022, we're focusing on girls in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And I am all about showing them how to carry themselves as young ladies at all times. And one thing I try to do with the program is instill in them the things that I wish someone would have told me so that I didn't end up making the mistakes that I made. So I'm trying to be a bridge over some of the obstacles that we face as women by giving them the tools now as young girls. And one thing that I am glad that I have learned about that's going to be the topic of the fall 2022 cohort and the message for today's episode is self-care. So these young ladies will be learning for 6 weeks how to take care of themselves. The topic is self-care isn't selfish. As women, we carry so many bags and loads on our shoulders, and we wear so many hats that we don't take care of ourselves. We put ourselves on the back burner. We make sure everyone else is okay. We do for everyone else, and we never have time for us. And within the last couple of years, I have learned to take care of myself. And I've realized that self-care is not selfish. You can't fill someone else's cup if yours is empty. And so we have to learn how to do things for ourselves in order to make sure that we're whole and complete and full and taken care of so that we can take care of someone else. I These last couple of weeks have been so draining, and I'm taking a day off tomorrow. When I first interviewed for the job that I have now as assistant principal, during the interview process, they asked me to tell them something about myself, and I told them that I have to take time off to refuel, get myself together. And especially being an educator, being an administrator in the school, it's a lot that comes and falls on you. And I feel myself getting to the point to where I feel like it's an overload, like it's too overwhelming. And I felt that. I'm feeling that now. So I'm glad that I'm taking the day off tomorrow to unplug, step away from work, and just enjoy myself, be silly, let my head down, and just relax, relate, release. Those that remember a different world know where that comes from. So I had to take some time off for myself because these last couple of weeks have been trying mentally, emotionally, physically. From losses to revelations to life altering decisions, I've decided that I'm going to apply for the principal's list. And so dealing with that of potentially walking into a new position, a new role, something I said that I would never want to do, that I didn't feel that I was ready for. Finally taking that leap again, because this will be my third time applying. The first two times I did it, I didn't have enough experience, but now I do. And so I'm going to try it again and see what happens. So dealing with that decision and just figuring out what I want to do with being in a new relationship and going through all of the things of that. We'll talk more about that next week. Um, just trying to figure out why all these things are happening and what direction I want to go in and where's God leading me. I just need to unplug, and I'll be able to do that this weekend. But that's my word for my girls, is to show them that it's okay to take care of you. You're not wrong. You're not selfish to take care of you. It's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain why if you don't want to. You can say no. Just as easily as yes rolls off our tongues, no can roll off too. It's my favorite word. And I'll admit there's been some things that I should have said no to that I didn't, which is part of the reason why I feel the way overwhelmed like I do. But yeah, I have to get my bearings back because I know that when I don't, I turn into one of those should have had a Snickers commercial where I'm just not who I am supposed to be. And so it's best that I take a break and woosah and relax, release in order to get myself together because it is not a pretty picture when I'm not. And so that's what I'm going to speak to you all today. Encourage you to take some time off out for yourself. Now I know, and people think I'm crazy. I just talked to my travel agent today planning my 2023 birthday trip. And she told me, I like you because you're not afraid to go and do things on your own. I will go on a trip across the country, across the state line in a minute by myself. I will do it with no problem. And so Take a trip. If you're not used to traveling by yourself, it doesn't have to be a long trip. Start off small. Do a weekend, do a day, go somewhere by yourself, go eat by yourself, go to the movies by yourself. Do something to take care of you, something you like to do. I know lots of you have kids. It can be hard to get away from your kids. Take a day off. Take a me day. That's what I call them. Take a me day. Send the kids home to school. Take you a day. Go to the mall. Walk around. Go eat at your favorite restaurant. Um, Sit in the shower in the tub. Light some candles. Play your favorite music. Read a book. Do something that makes you happy so that you can get your mind back. It doesn't have to be the things that I mentioned. It could be something else that you love to do. Take a car ride. Go get you some ice cream and sit at the lake. Or get your favorite meal and go to the beach. Whatever it is that you like to do. But do something in order to refuel and unplug and take care of you. It's okay. Self-care is not selfish, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can be extravagant with it, you can be small with it. Just take care of you, because there's only one. There's only one. And I cannot wait for these few hours to tick away so I can get in my car and drive down to see my grandmother and love on her for her birthday and spend time with my boo and do crazy stuff and just enjoy this weekend with no cares in the world. I'm even leaving my dog at home with his granddaddy. So I'm excited. It's needed. I will try not to miss another episode, but next week's episode, I'll be able to dive more into different things that we can speak over ourselves in order for us to be a more complete person. Again, take care of you, because there's only one. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you check out my books, Underneath the Hat, and It's That Size for a Reason. You can find them on Amazon and wherever books are sold. Just type in my name, Cherie Simmons, and they'll come right up. Again, make sure you subscribe and like the YouTube page, Underneath the Hat Podcast, and check us out on all podcast platforms: Anchor, Overcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Breaker, and Pocket Cast. Again, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. And like I always say, remember to take care of yourself underneath the hat. I will see you next week.